Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmerced.com and libertarian101.com. And in this video what I want to talk about is, where did the middle class go? So to know where the middle class went, you have to understand what is the middle class. The middle class is this idea that there's a level of wealth and income that you hit where you're not necessarily struggling, you're not poor, you can actually save some money, buy a house, attain some assets, but you're not necessarily wealthy. You don't necessarily have all this extra money that you can go trading around the world and doing all that stuff with. You're just kind of like, you're comfortable. It's a sweet spot. And for a long time in the US, there's a lot of people who felt they were part of this sort of middle class, this sort of middle area. But over the years, people have felt that this middle ground has disappeared. People who are like my age, I'm 33 as I record this, they feel like they grew up in this world where basically it just seems like you're either struggling, even with a decent level of income, or you're super comfortable. Okay, that there's not really that in between anymore. And there's two things that determine whether you're in that determine that: your income and your expenses. Okay, so of course there's the whole idea that people talk about income stagnation and whatnot. And people always point to the statistic where basically wages started to stagnate starting in the 70s, and basically what happened is that you see this chart, productivity and wages kind of go in tandem, and then eventually there's sort of a departure where productivity keeps going up but wages keep not going up, or not going up as much. So you see this sort of departure, and people say, well, see, this is just corporate America taking money from people. Although I've seen statistical studies that show that if you were to actually adjust that wage figure to factor in healthcare expenses, so the portion of your income that goes to pay for your healthcare benefits for most jobs, that pretty much fills in the gap. So pretty much, in all reality, the increases in productivity have resulted in higher wages. The problem is the increases in healthcare costs because of the way healthcare is delivered in the U.S., and I have other videos where I discuss this in more depth. And honestly, just read the book, The Primal Prescription by Robert Murphy, and that kind of does the job. But because of that increase in expenses, it pretty much ate up those increases in productivity that would have turned into higher wages. So there's that. That's sort of, part of why there wasn't been wage growth. But why is healthcare going up so much? Because of distortions in that market. And then there's the same thing going on in healthcare and housing, okay? Because of loan subsidies in healthcare and housing, tuition prices have gone up quite a bit. And what do people do to deal with those higher housing prices, those higher education prices? They just get bigger and bigger loans. So when wages are stagnating, but you're taking out bigger and bigger debts to support buying houses and getting an education, it just begins to, unravel. But that's not even the full picture, okay? And there's also the whole aspect that there's more taxes than ever. And people may point to different marginal tax rates through history, where we used to have 70% rates and 90% rates. But effective tax rates, for the most part, haven't gone down or aren't that different than they were back in those days. So just because you had a 70% rate or a 90% rate doesn't mean people actually paid 70 or 90%. But more so, taxes have increased at the state level. So there are more property taxes than there have ever been before. There's more state income taxes than there were before. So many states didn't even have income tax several decades ago. They have more state sales taxes. So taxes at local levels have grown, eating your income, on top of just other sort of miscellaneous sort of tax effects, the cost of regulation. All these things there's more of today than there was decades ago. And when you have more regulations, more taxation, it eats up more of your income. Because taxes and regulation, what happens is that it increases the cost of doing business, which means the prices of things go up. So you're spending more money on the things that you normally buy. So you end up buying less. So your income is stagnating. Because healthcare is eating up pretty much all the increases in productivity. Everything else is going up in price because taxes and regulations and basically the things that you need, housing and education, have basically required you to take out a small mortgage to survive. So basically, by the time you have all these things, you're lucky if you're getting by. If you're able to have a house, have an education without being six-figure debt, you're lucky. That's a win. In today's world, you are the middle class. And it's a struggle. And that's just the reality of a lot of bad policies over a long time. A lot of bad policies that oftentimes had good intentions to help people buy a house, and intentions to have people get an education, but resulted in making those things more expensive, resulting in trying to help more people have access to healthcare, but made it more expensive for more people and helped stagnate wages. Policies that try to control, different industries in the name of health, safety and quality, but all it's done is cannibalize our incomes and increase our expenses. So, where did the middle class go? Well, government policies took care of the middle class and made it go away. And that's not even touching monetary policy, where basically loose monetary policy as a long time has basically eroded the value of wages and savings, at the same time as sort of redistributing sort of wealth to those who are asset holders, those who own property, who are the beneficiaries of an increasing money supply as prices go up. And again, taking away from those who primarily have their wealth in cash, wage holders, savers, who are on the losing end of that deal. So when you add up all these things, the question is, it's pretty amazing that the fact there is any kind of middle class still, because there's so many things working against it, and that just shows you the power of markets and individual determination. That the fact that there's still any kind of middle anymore. So my name is Alex Merced from alexmerced.com and libertarian101.com. Have a great day and enjoy.